Okay. Chapter 7, date functions and conditional formatting. So after studying this chapter, you will be able to identify date serial numbers, apply custom date formatting, enter times, create functions using dates, perform date and time calculations, create customized conditional formatting rules, edit rules using the conditional formatting rules manager. So date serial numbers. Dates are stored as sequential serial numbers. Dates stored as serial numbers allow dates to be used in calculations. You can apply custom date formatting. So basically, whenever you do a date, you want to make sure you're typing it in with the numbers instead of the alpha. So you don't want to type in May 2nd. You want to type in 0502, whatever the case might be. That way you're able to use the date in a formula. Date stored. So once you apply your custom formatting, there are custom date format codes, date, month, and year, DMY. You can use the slash or the dash. Either one of those will work. And then you can set up in the format cells dialog box the way you want the date to be displayed. You can do month, day, year, or month, day, year. So basically you want the full year, so 1994, or you just want 94. So there's different ways you're able to handle that date. Maybe you're doing a military date, so you're doing 1994, the 28th of May. So basically however you want to do that, you can set up the custom formatting inside of there. So getting into Excel and our blank workbook, we're going to start off there. Okay. The first thing we're going to do, once again, we're going to go to File, go to Save As. Go to Browse, make sure you're saving it to your thumb drive. And this is going to be E7-D1-days old. And then hit save. Yes. So once you have that saved, Okay, so in cell A1, we're going to enter in today's date. So we're going to do 05 whack 13, and then we're just going to press enter. 0513, and as you could tell, it should change the day to the 13th of May. So now in cell A2, we're going to enter in your birth date, including the year. As you could tell, it does not change it there. Yes. Okay. So now in cell A3, we're going to do a formula of equals A1 minus A2. Equals A1 minus A2. And then press enter. Yes. Okay. So that should tell you how many days old you are. So now we're going to select the two dates in the range of A1 and A2. So A1 and A2, we're selecting both of those. And then we're going to home. We're going to go to number. And then for the number format button, we're going to go to general. So right now, it should say custom. We're changing that to general. So now, as you can tell, those dates are now serial numbers. They are no longer actual dates.
That what you would really do at a job, like changing the serial number?
Okay, so once we have those as serial numbers, with the same date selected here, so we're going to select the A2 and A1 and A2 again. we're going to go to where we did the drop down from general. We're going to change that to loan date. And now that will tell you the exact date. So Monday, May 13th, 2024. Now in cell B3, we're going to type in days old and press enter. B3. Once you're done with that, we're going to go ahead and save this file. And we're going to close it out. E7D1 invoices. So now we have played with the dates. Now we're going to make some modifications to this file. First, we're going to do a file save as. Make sure you go to browse and you're saving to your thumb drive. And this is going to be E7D1 clients. And hit save. Okay, once we have that saved, we're going to select the range of G4 through G13. So G4 through G13. Now we're going to open the Format Cells dialog box by clicking the number format launcher. So right up here under the home and then number, there's this little launcher here that will bring up the number or Format Cells dialog box. Okay, so it should already be set to custom. We're going to clear out the existing text that's currently in there. And we're going to type in MMM minus D. And if you're following along, that's 174, number 13 is where we're at. Once you do that, go ahead and click OK. So what we did there is we said we want the 3 characters of the month dash the day. Now we're going to select the range of J4 through J13. We're going to go back to the format cells. And for this one, we're on page 175, number 16. We're going to type in, so erase what's there, DDD space MMM minus D. So once again, that's DDD space MMM minus D. And then hit OK. So we're doing the day of the week by 3 initials, the month by 3 initials, minus the day. Once you're done, go ahead and save your workbook. So entering time information. Times have serial numbers attached, just like dates. So just like we were able to convert that date over to a serial number, you can do the same thing for a time. Excel applies the correct custom number formatting. Example, Excel knows that 600 is 6 a.m. because it assumes you are using a 24-hour clock. So now remember that. It assumes that you're using 24-hour clocks. Now, if you're thinking of doing 7 p.m., it's going to assume that you're talking about 7 a.m. So you have to remember that you have to use the 24-hour clock. Times can be customized by selecting the type of clock or the differences on how you want it displayed. But most of the time when you're typing in Excel, you're using 24 hours. Okay, so now we're going to do another file save as. Go to browse. Make sure you're in your thumb drive, and this is going to be E7D2 dash clients. So the only thing we're changing it is from D1 to D2. So in the same thing, we're going to find cell M5 through M10. So M5 through M10. We're going to highlight those. We're going to choose the change it from custom back to general. And now you should see that those have become serial numbers. Once again, very helpful if you're using formulas. Now, with the flight times in the range of M5 through M10 still selected, we're going to do the number launcher once again. So we're going to pop out that format cells. We're going to choose time in the category. And then we're going to select the third option for AM, PM. Yes. And then click OK. So now you should actually have the AM, PMs for those times. Once you're done with that, go ahead and enter in the rest of the times. Those are on page 176, number 5. So as you can tell, mine was giving me a little bit of issues. I had to go manually adjust the last 9 o'clock. Once you're done with that, go in and save your file. Okay, using date functions. Dates provide important information and are even more valuable when used in functions. You can enter date functions just like you do other functions. So example, you can use the today function to enter today's date. So if you do equal today in parentheses, it'll go ahead and show you what today's date is. There are some other ones you could use. Now is another good one. So we'll start getting into those. Okay, so now we're gonna do another file save as for our document here. Browse, and this is just changing it from E7D2 to E7D3. And then hit save. Okay.
After I put the time in, I'm gonna.
Okay. Moving forward. Insert a row above the column heading in row 3. So above the column heading in row 3. So if I right click on 2 and I go to insert, oh, nope, wrong one. Yeah. If I click on 3, right click and go to insert, that should give me a new row. And then in cell D3, we're going to type in month with a colon. And then in cell E3, we're going to do equals G5. And we're going to press enter. So you should see now that it gave you for the month of September 8th. And now we're going to, with cell E3 highlighted, we're going to open up our number launcher once again. With the custom selected, we're going to type in 4 M's. And then click OK. Okay. Now we're going to go ahead and merge and center the range E3 through F3. So E3 and F3, we're going to highlight those. E3 and F3. We're going to highlight both of those. And then So under home and alignment, you should have a merge and center. Go ahead and click that. So that should merge E and F together and allow September to be in both cells. Okay. In cell H, okay, now in cell H3, we're going to type in year, colon, and then press tab. And then in cell I3, in I3, we're typing in equals year, open parenthesis, G5, close parenthesis. And press enter. So all that is doing is taking the year of that first invoice date, which is G5. And now we're going to select the range of I3 and J3, and we're going to tell that to merge and center. So at the very top now, in row 3, we should have September, year of 2026. Okay. Now we're going to go to the client history worksheet. So at the very bottom, where it says client history, we're going to click on that worksheet. So it should look like this. And we're going to insert a new row above the column heading in row 3. So once again, if you right click on row 3 and you go to insert, that should give you your new row. In cell A3, we're going to type in as of colon. And then we're going to merge and center A and B. So you should get something like that. So in cell A3, we typed in as of colon, and then we did a merge and center in A and B3. And in cell C3, we're going to type in equals today, open parenthesis, close parenthesis, and press enter. So C3, we're doing equal today, open parenthesis, close parenthesis. Once you're done with that, we're going to merge and center C3 through F3.
Press enter, we hit the merge center.
We press enter after you type it in. Once you're done with that, we're going to change the date type. So if we click on C3, we're going to change that to a long date. Once you have that as a long date, go ahead and save your file. File and save. So you can either go up to the drop down under number and go to long date, or you can go to number format and go to long date. So calculations using date and time. So use mathematical operations in date and time formulas. You can subtract to find the number of days between two dates or two times. You can add a number of days to a particular date. You can combine a formula with the date function. So as you've seen in the beginning of class, when we did our first assignment, we were able to track the two dates from today and your birthday and told you how many days old you are. So you can do formulas like that that will help you, throughout your Excel Excel documents. Okay, so getting into that, we're going to do another file save as. Go to browse, make sure you're in your thumb drive, and this is going to be E7D4. Now we're going to go to the September worksheet. So on the very bottom, we're going to the September worksheet. So we're going to look for cell L5, Lima 5. So right here where it says balance due date. So right below that. So what we're going to do here is we're going to do equals. So anytime you see equals, that means we're doing a formula. We're typing in E date, open parenthesis, J5, colon 3, close parentheses. So in cell Lima 5, L5, we're doing equals E date, open parenthesis, J5, comma, 3, close parenthesis. And then we're going to go ahead and press tab or enter to complete that cell. So what we're doing there is we're telling it to take the current date that was in cell J5, and we're telling it to add 3 months to that date. So that's all we're doing is we're saying take the current value in G5, add 3 months. No, it's not. From there, we're going to copy that formula down to the remaining cells. So for me, I just wait till I get the plus symbol here, and I could drag it down. That will copy that formula for me all the way down. Now in cell N5, Nancy 5, which is the arrived by, so underneath that, we're going to type in the formula of equals M5 minus, open parenthesis, 1 divided by, so slash 24 times that by 3. So for this formula, it is on page 178, number 5. We're dividing, basically subtracting out 3 hours So that's where that 124 comes into play. For every 1 hour, there's 24 hours in a day. So we're saying that we want to go back basically 3 hours. So from 11 a.m. to 8 a.m. is 3 hours difference. A little bit more complicated formula when it comes to time compared to the date. Now we're going to go ahead and copy this formula all the way down. Another way you're able to copy the formula is if you go and you hover over and you get the black cross, you can double click there and that will double click or bring it all the way down. Okay. So now we're going to go back over to the client history worksheet on the bottom. In cell F4, or sorry, actually on column F, we're going to insert a column. So if you right click on F and you're going to go to insert, that should give you a new column F. So now in column F4, we're entering in days since traveled. Okay. Now that we have that typed in cell F5, we're going to type in a formula of equals. So now we're doing a $sign, C $3 minus E5. So in the other formulas, we didn't use a $sign. The $sign means that it's going to be a constant, meaning that it should never change. When you copy that formula down, those two values, the C3 will never change. What that's referencing, if you look at the top of your spreadsheet, where Charlie 3 is, it's referencing that date, and then we're minusing out their last travel date. So basically, all we're doing is saying C3 on all those cells should never change. If we do not do it with that $sign, each time we copy that formula down, it will change those values from C3 to C4 to C5, but we don't want that to happen. So that's why we use the dollar signs. Once we go ahead and press enter, and then we're going to go to cell F5 once again. We're going to apply the general. So on your home and under the number format, the drop down, we're going to go to general. And that should give you the number of days since that person's traveled, which right now is 726 days. After that, we're going to go ahead and copy that formula down to the rest. Double click or you can drag it, whichever way you want to do it. So now you should have all these numbers that should line up to what I currently have. Now moving over, we're going to insert a column to the left of column E. So we're going to right click on column E. We're going to go to insert, and that should give us a new E. So in E4, we're going to type in years of loyalty. So now your spreadsheet should look something like this. After you get that entered in, we're going to do another formula here. We're going to do equals year frac, open parenthesis, D5, comma, dollar, C, $3, close parenthesis. Once again, if you're following in the book, page 179, number 14. And then you're pressing enter. So right now, it looks like a messed up date, but we want this to be a actual general or a number format. So we're going to change that back to general. And that shows me that there are 2.35 years of loyalty for Eric Snow. But that still doesn't look right on what we want. So we're going to click back on cell E5. We're going to bring up, well, actually, you could go to your quick shortcuts here, and we're going to go to comma style. So you should have a comma style. We're going to click on that. And then we want to decrease the decimal to reduce the number of decimal places showing to 1. So right here, we should have a decrease and increase decimal. We want to decrease the decimal.
It's how that happens somehow with the. 2.4 or just 2?
Doesn't matter. And then we're going to copy that formula all the way down. No, take it down to just 1, to 2. So, like that. Once you're done with that, go ahead and save your file. Yes. Okay. So conditional formatting. This applies formatting to cells, meaning a criteria. Preset options can be applied. You can create multiple rules for the same set of data. Conditional formatting updates cells when data is entered. And you can apply conditional formatting with graphs, apply data bars, color scales, or icon sets. Very handy when you're doing huge tables, huge worksheets, and you want to see where the differences are instead of looking at numbers. You could see if somebody met their budget, if somebody paid all their rent, what are they short? So looking at some of those little icons makes it a lot easier than reading the actual data all the time. Especially if your spreadsheet is huge, you don't want to look at just numbers. You have conditional formatting rules manager. This is where you're able to create your rules. Create, edit, and delete rules or rearrange the order. This displays existing rules for the entire worksheet or your current selection that you have selected. So you can have different rules for different things. The last 7 days, have they paid their rent? Who's my top 10% that's, always paying on time? What formulas do you want to use to be able to calculate these types of rules? So that's where you're able to get into more of having your spreadsheets pop out and show you exactly what's going on every day compared to looking at all the data each and every time. So you're also able to use conditional formulas while doing your conditional formatting. So it extends the possibilities of conditional formatting by creating a custom rule using a formula. So you could say, like we've been doing today, take today's current date, minus out, 3 days from now or 3 days from before, who was the highest seller before then? Now add 3 days, who's going to be projected as the highest seller? So you're able to have these different formulas that can help you when it comes down to using conditional formatting to see your data. So, diving into that, we're going to do a file save as. Go to browse and make sure you're on your thumb drive. And this is going to be E7D5 clients. Once you save that, we're going to go ahead and select the data under years of loyalty, so the one that we just did, we're going to select from E5 to E14. We're going to go to the Home tab in the ribbon. We're going to go down to Styles, which is the subheading. We're clicking on Conditional Formatting. We're going to Icon Sets. And we're going to 3 stars. So under ratings, it says 3 stars. So now, as you can tell, there's some stars depending on the rating. In cell A17, we're going to enter in loyalty program. And then we're going to merge and center loyalty program in range A17 and B17. So highlight both of those, and we're going to go to merge and center. After we do that, we're going to apply a thick bottom border. So here under font, we want a thick bottom border. So that should give you that thick line underneath. It should say thick bottom border. After that, and I'm on page 181, number 5, we're going to enter in the information underneath loyalty program. So for 18, we're typing in silver. 19, we're typing in gold. And then 3 and 5. So now your spreadsheet should look something like this. Okay. Now we're going to go to Home. Under Styles, once again, Conditional Formatting. We're going to go to Manage Rules at the very bottom. And for people, go ahead and follow on page 182, number 7. We're going to end up making all those changes. So make sure where it says Show Formatting Rules 4, change that to this worksheet. And you should see that. Okay. So we did letter A, select this worksheet. We're going to click on that rule and click on Edit Rule. In the Edit Formatting Rule dialog box, we're going to change the type for each value to formula. So right here, for each one of these, we're changing this to a formula. And click the box for the first value, and then click cell B19. So if you click here, this little up arrow, and we're going to select B19. And then you click the down arrow. And then we're going to do the same thing. And do the same thing for the bottom one. Click the up arrow, and we're selecting B18. And then click the down arrow. So that should give you both of those values there. And then click OK. And OK. What we ended up doing in our conditional formatting, in our rules, so they get a full star if they are greater than basically cell B19, which is 5. They get a half a star when they're basically, or they get silver when they're less than 3. So that's the way we went ahead and did our loyalty.
So we have to give,
Now we're going to go over to our September worksheet. We're going to select the invoices dates in range G5 to G14. Okay, so we're selecting the range of G5 through G14. We're going back up to our home, styles, and conditional formatting. This time we're going to click on New Rule. And people following along, this is page 183, number 11. We're going to click on Use a Formula to determine which cells to format. We're going to enter the formula of equals, open parenthesis, J5 minus G5, close parenthesis, is less than 30. Once you have that entered in, for the format, and click on Format, we're going to go over to the Fill tab, and we're going to choose light blue for the color. Third one down on the and click OK again. Okay, once you're done, this is what it should look like. So your September should look like this, and your client history should look like this. Once you're done, go in and save your file, and you are done.